What's up, everybody? All right, just wanted to do a quick update on the 240. Still waiting on a bunch of parts and stuff for it, so haven't really made too much progress, but got the rest of the engine mounts done. Got trans mount figured out, got the rest of the flooring done, a few other odds and ends, so still working on it, just trying to figure out where we're going to go next with it. But today's going to be kind of an interesting day because can't really do much with the 240, which is right behind me right there. We got this big old Dodge in here that's shot, needs fuel lines, needs a bunch of other crap, so pushing that in and out is a huge pain in the ass. But I'm going to figure out something for today, and hopefully we can go from there. Alrighty. Alright, so like I said, 240 got a little bit more done, kind of smoothed out the top of that engine mount a little bit, got rid of the angular nature of all the metal that I used. Then in this one down here, added a top plate to it just to kind of strengthen it a little bit more because that subframe is kind of thin. It's not really designed to carry engine mounts. The engine mounts are actually here on the cross member, but obviously we couldn't use those because the 4-cylinder is way shorter than the 6-cylinder. Got the fuel tank out of it. The owner wants to clean this up and have it coated inside and then ultimately powder coated and use the original fuel tank in the car. So hopefully everything goes good with that. Tank looks to be in pretty decent condition. I didn't see any massive holes in it or anything, so. But we got some more work done on the floors, excuse me. And got everything welded underneath the car. I have a couple pictures of it. I didn't take any video of it while I was doing it, but floors are pretty much all spotted in. We got to get them seam sealed and a few other odds and ends, but as far as that goes, that's done. Now, onto this thing that has been the bane of my existence for the last 2 weeks. This truck sat in a guy's backyard for 3 years. It quit running because of a fuel line that rotted out, and it's been sitting. So unfortunately, I have the task of fixing it. As much as I tried to tell him that it wasn't worth it because the truck is literally rotted front to back, he still wants to have it done. So we're gonna do it. Started out with a brand new fuel feed line, which ruptured. So just threw some coating on that to save it from future rotting. And we still have a ton more to do fuel line wise just to even see if this thing is gonna run. So that's my my task for today. Possibly today if the other fuel line comes in, but I'll keep you guys all updated on that one. I think right now we're gonna get into a little bit of welding, a little bit of Q&A with welding. Some of the things I've been asked several times about: back purging versus not back purging versus MIG welding versus TIG welding, all that happy stuff. So I'm gonna weld a couple pieces of pipe together and I'll see you in a bit. All right, so here we go. Basically what we're gonna be doing is this is some 3.5-inch vibrant oval stainless. It's just a little bit easier to kind of do a before and after on the oval stuff. So what I'm pretty much gonna do is I'm gonna weld this joint right here without any back purge gas. And we'll see how it comes out, how it looks on the outside, how it looks on the inside of the pipe. And then on the other side, we'll flip it over. I'll back purge it, and then we'll see what difference it made to the weld. Now I'll be using a number 16 M-Furic BBW cup, which I absolutely love. It's going to be a 3/32 electrode, ground to a pretty fine point, and I'm going to be using 1/16 inch stainless filler. I think it's 316L is what I'm using. So I'm going to get to that, and as soon as I'm done with that, I will show you guys the results. Alright, so this is the setup. Just to give you guys a little bit of a demo, normally you'd use like aluminum blocks or some sort of purge blocks or something, which I have made up for these pipes, but I wanted to just do a quick down and dirty, hey, this is purging versus non-purging, so excuse the painter's tape, there won't be a whole lot of heat there, but let's get to it. Alright, so here's what we got. This is the weld with no purge gas. None whatsoever. And you see it looks pretty good. A little bit of undercut, what looks like undercut. But other than that, halfway decent stainless weld. Now the weld on the other side, that is the weld with the back purge. Now you can see that it's a bit more consistent. The coloring is a bit different. The heat zone is a bit different. That's the weld with purge. Now I'll show you the inside of it. The outside, you can play around with coloring and whatever else. You're shielded with argon on the outside all the time anyway by your cup and your normal argon feed. But here's where the big difference comes. Now, mind you, the bottle of argon that I used for this right here is my contaminated bottle of argon. Hence why I stopped using it, switched over to the other bottle. So I know that this argon is contaminated. And even contaminated argon, this, I don't know how well you're going to be able to see inside this piece of pipe. Yeah, maybe not so well. But you can kind of see, let me see if I can get it. Oh, there we go. Perfect. All right. You see all that little, what looks like popcorn shit in there? That's the non-purge gas side. Now, that is what's called sugaring. Now, that, if it's in an exhaust system, is not really going to matter a whole lot if that breaks off and goes flying through. But if that's in a turbo manifold and that goes through your turbo, you're going to be screwed. So purging is key. Now, let me flip this around and I'll show you the purge side. Now, there's the purge side. See if we can get that one in the light. Well, it's kind of hard to see, but there's absolutely zero sugaring of any kind. That inner seam is smooth as can be. Now, with the purge gas, there's no sugaring whatsoever. Ah, there we go. And you can see that that seam is perfectly clean. Had the argon been good and not contaminated, we would have welded straight through the metal and fused the metal front and back with zero sugaring. Now, I have a perfect example. Again, if we can focus on it somehow. That's just a tack weld over there. That little dot is just a tack weld. Can you imagine if that fell off inside a turbo manifold and ended up in your turbine wheel? Not so good. Again, that purged with bad gas versus unpurged with all the sugaring. So you be the judge. Is it a pain in the ass? Yes. Will your welds stick together? Yeah. Will it hold? Probably. But ultimately, if you're going to be building a turbo manifold or something of that nature, you're going to want to back purge it, keep everything nice and clean. Just overall works better. And you won't ever have to worry about anything breaking off and destroying a $1,000 turbo. Alright guys, still trying to figure out a good outro to these videos. Just started doing them and I still haven't figured out what I want to do for an outro. I mean, everybody does, you know, the typical whoop, boom, and then they go out. So, I don't know, I kind of want to be different. I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet for an outro. So, let me know in the comments below what you think I should do for an outro. Make things different. I don't know if we want to do something, I don't know. We'll figure it out. But, anywho, goodbye.